Hey crew, how you doing? This is Anthony with StackTrax, and I'm here with Lindsay, and we are going to talk to you today about stretching. A lot of us have just sat way too much. You now hear stories and read articles about sitting is the new smoking, and that is so true. When you sit way too long and you don't get up throughout the day to stretch out those muscles, your body will be getting wreaked up of havoc inside and out. So today we're going to take a quick, really 12, maybe even 15 minutes to just get your day going with a little bit of stretching. So it's either you're first thing in the morning, you're at the office, or you're just really looking to get a little bit more mobility into your day. These stretches can help you out. So we're going to get started. No need for a crazy warm-up, nothing like that. And we are just going to start right now with the track here, with the multi-bar right here in the middle track. What we're going to do is you're going to place your hands down and you're just going to go down into a nice little child's pose stretch, a mid-child's pose stretch, where you're just going to loosen up your arms. You're going to feel this nice little stretch. You can get a little bit of retraction with your hands here to feel the stretch through your lats, and also right here down near your QL, right? A lot of times when you have lower back pain, it's that QL, and it's that issue that gets really, really tight. Now, what's a great stretch we're going to go right into, and Lindsay can just kind of take a couple of breaths and big exhales, and that's what you want to do too. You don't want to stretch for pain, you want to stretch to relax. All right, so she can come up right now, just relax your body. You can too. And what we're going to do here is we're going to go back into this stretch. You're going to go back into this nice little kind of child's pose position. And what I want you to do, I'm going to talk about Lindsay's right hand, so you can take your right hand as well. I want you to take that right hand and I want you to slip it underneath and grab the handle with an underhand grip. You can see that, what Lindsay's doing. From here, her other hand is here and she's going to rotate ever so gently. You feel that, Linz? And you're going to feel this nice stretch. Again, you do not want to stretch where there's pain. You want to stretch and try to breathe. Have this good inhale, hold, and then exhale. You want to do that 1 or 2 times. It's really going to be that relaxing. You're going to feel that stretch. If you go in deeper to it, you can. As you exhale out, as your muscles are relaxing, you can kind of get a deeper stretch. Now, what I want you to do, once you're feeling confident with that, as you kind of relax your body, you're going to slowly come out of that rotation, place that right hand back onto the bar, and assume that kind of child's pose position where you can kind of stand. Feel confident. If you need to stand up, shake it out, you can. But now we're going to go to the opposite side. So we're going to go down, drop down into that child's pose position again, take that left hand. I feel Lindsay just shaking right here. And what you're going to do, you're going to take that left hand, bring it underneath. You're going to have an underhand grip. So you can really pull on that underhand grip. You're going to try to extend that arm, that right arm, so you feel the stretch through your lats, through the rotator cuff muscles here. You're getting that QL to stretch out. And again, you're just really relaxing that breath. Maybe a couple more breaths, couple more deep stretches there, and then slowly come out of it. So she's going to take her left hand, place it on there, coming from the child's pose, stand right up. How'd that feel? Good. Feel good? Perfect. That's the first stretch. We're now going to go into a 4-way stretch, really kind of a glute stretch, if you would. You're going to assume the same position with the multi-bar, and you're going to cross over one leg. She's going to cross over her left leg on top of her knee. You can see how it has a 4-way here. She's then going to sit her butt back and really allow the hands on the multi-bar to really help keep her balanced. Now, she can try to drop down more and more to get a nice little stretch. And the most important thing, try not to round your back, right? Keep the shoulder blades retracted back, staying nice and strong. You can feel that stretch. You can breathe down there, right? Then you can kind of stand right back up. Now, we're going to have her do that same side one more time, right? Just to kind of nice and relax. We're going to go more fluid with it, and so can you. And again, only go to the depth that you feel comfortable. Sometimes you might need to just go down a little bit. Maybe just having that leg crossed over just isn't what you're up to right now. You can just stay taller with your body, right? So I'm going to have Lindsay come back up, and we're going to switch sides. Same concept, switch sides, crossing over. You may feel that one side might be tighter than the other. Again, we're stretching to relax. We're not stretching to be in pain. So breathe through, focus on your shoulder blades, being retracted back. I'm gonna have Lindsay just breathe and relax. As you breathe out, try to go deeper into that stretch. That's what's going to help out a lot here. So when you're relaxing, you can do that. Now again, if you want to move a little bit more where you're going up and down, getting a couple more reps as you hear us and teach you how to stretch, we're golden. But what I want to see you do here is just feel confident with it. If crossing over doesn't work, you can just go down into a nice squat position like I am here, if you can kind of see that, and just work the stretch as you come down into that nice deep squat, right? So Linz, why don't you try doing that a couple times too, because you know what, this is actually a really great stretch for anyone to do now that I'm doing it. A lot of times it's really hard to open up your hips, especially if you haven't moved in a long time and you need that mobility. Doing a nice deep squat stretch where you sit down, open up those hips, really allow those adductors. You can even shake your hips side to side a little bit if you want to get that little bit of adductor movement going on. Really fun to do. And again, remember to breathe. Only go to a point where you feel that you could breathe, okay? Too much stretching will cause that muscle to kind of want to stay together, and you'll actually defeat the whole purpose of all of this, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to move the multi-bar down to the bottom. So let's take that track or take the multi-bar and flip over the multi-bar so that it's actually facing down. You can see Lindsay doing this right here. Now, what I want her to do is, here's a couple modifications. We're going to do a hamstring stretch where all she's going to do is come down. Well, do you want to go down to the ground? We could if we want to. She's going to go down to the ground, do the hamstring stretch. I'm going to show you a little modification that if you do not want to go down to the ground, you don't have to. You can place your foot onto the multi-bar and just have a nice little stretch. So again, if going down to the ground is not your thing, you can just place your foot on the multi-bar and really kind of press that leg down and breathe, right? Keep the shoulder blades, again, retracted back. That's probably going to be the hardest thing for you to do. But now that Lindsay's down on the ground, there's a few stretches that we're planning on doing down here on the ground. And the same concept. If you're down on the ground, we want to stretch out that hamstring. You can place that leg right up on top of the bar. Your toe should be dorsiflexed. That means flexed up towards you. And again, when you plantar flex it, it kind of relaxes everything on the backside of your posterior chain, and it doesn't relax or help relax that Achilles tendon. So try to have that toe pointed back towards you. You're going to feel the hamstring really get really tight. You're feeling that one, right? Yeah. So the big thing is breathe through. You can see Lindsay, she is flexible, but the one thing that I want us to try to do is retract your shoulder blades back and kind of lead with your shoulders. Try not to, right, round the shoulders. We always have a tendency of wanting to reach the toe. But guess what? A lot of times when we do, we round that back. And that's not doing really great for that lower back. We really want to stretch out the hamstrings. And so by doing so, we want to sit back with our shoulders and almost push forward. Lindsay's even feeling this right now. I can feel the stretch in her hamstrings all the way up here in her back, right? Because all of it's connected. So again, breathe through. Let's switch legs. You can see I'm spending about 20 to 30 seconds on each leg, on each stretch. You can take upwards of sometimes even 2 minutes on one side for one stretch. But the major focus here is to breathe through your stretching. Again, inhale and then exhale. And as you exhale, right, that parasympathetic nervous system in our body allows the muscle to relax, and that's where you want to go into a deeper stretch if you wanted to. So if you're going to go for a deeper stretch, you do an inhale and then you exhale. Try to get deeper into that stretch, and you can see how that really allows that leg to just relax. And that's what we're trying to do here, is try to relax the muscle from all the tension we put it under. And that's really important to try to be able to do that. So there's your hamstring stretch. Now what I want Linz to do here is she's going to end up going, and I want her to put her foot actually on the backside here to stretch out her hip flexor. Okay, so you're going to almost do what we consider a rear foot elevated split squat. But here, this is one massive important exercise to do. If we're sitting all day, if we're sitting on the couch, there's a lot of sitting we do. And this one stretch with the multi-bar here on the low position allows Linz to get that foot to really be lifted up. And where do you feel this right here, Linz? Yeah, the hip flexors, right? This is part of like a rear foot elevated split squat. But when you're in stretch mode like we are right here, the psoas muscle that wraps around your hip and into your back, it's really, really shortened, and it really just kind of locks up. So we really want to extend that through. So in this position, if that feels good for you, it's all right, you can stay there. But let's see if we can lift up that arm, right? Really reach the ceiling. You can see that I put my hand on the outside of my opposite leg so my knee doesn't collapse out, and I want you to reach over the knee that's up. Ooh, again, you're feeling all of that stretch, right? Remember we talked about that lats, right? From that pigeon stretch all the way down into the serratus, into all of our obliques, and into that hip flexor area where we really want to stretch that right out. Remember to breathe. Then we can bring the arm back down. Lindsay needs to do it. And we're gonna go one more time just because she loves it so much. We're gonna come up. And again, you can stay here if you want to, but if you can, gently bring that body slightly over center. And again, this is a nice little stretch. You can breathe right through. And then we're gonna come right back down. And here, let's try to switch legs. You can see how I'm doing this stretch without the multi-bar. I'm not getting as much stretch through the quad, right? I'm not getting as much stretch through the quad or my hip flexors. It's why just having just a slight little elevation of that foot on the multi-bar can really maximize this stretch. So just in case you don't have it, this is still a great stretch to do without the multi-bar. But we're gonna bring that arm up and we're gonna gently come across. You might find some misalignments and balance issues, right? You can see Lindsay, and again, you want to check yourself. Lindsay's hip is coming off slightly to the angle. Not that it's the wrong thing to do, but just check yourself. I want to have her close it down. Have everything straight north and south, right? You can relax. Let's bring that arm one more time back up. And the reason is if you have your hip opened up and you're trying to reach out, you're not really opening up that hip flexion, you're not really stretching it through. You're kind of compensating a little bit with the inner adductors that are just kind of like firing through, and you really want to be able to brace your midsection and core. So make sure that everything's aligned up. I mean, there's so many more exercises we go into on that level, but we'll definitely give it a shot. Yeah, cool, excellent. So let's go into this kind of your typical yoga style, right? Your cobra as well as your downward dog. So now that the multi-bar is down here, we stretch out our hamstrings, we stretch out our lats, we stretch out our hip flexors. Your back should be feeling a little loose right now. We're almost done, which is great because you've done a wonderful job so far. And feel free to continue the stretch. Continue replaying this video over and over if you want a little bit more stretch and a little bit more time for yourself. But taking that yoga style approach, we're gonna really place our hands onto the multi-bar and you're gonna slowly bring those hips in. Now here's where you really want your midsection, your core, to stay tight. You don't want that to be loose because you don't want to hyperextend that back, right? This is about core engaging and really elongating the rectus abdominis so that your muscles can kind of relax. We do a lot of things with this diaphragm and all those muscles there get really tight. So here we get a nice little stretch. Try to breathe through it, but engage that midsection. Don't get loose because you do not want to hyperextend your lower back. So Linz, could you hyperextend your lower back? Yeah, that ain't good, so stop. That's not good. And because of that, we're gonna go into the complete opposite where I want her to drop right down and go into this child's pose position, right? Where she just loosens up that back all the way through. Similar to when it was at the medium height, now we can do it at the low height and just feel everything more and more stretched. What's really kind of cool about being down low is that we can actually pike our body up and get the hamstrings and everything through the hip flexors to stretch out. Here you also get your backside posterior chain. You can see her hamstrings, her calves, her Achilles pressing the heels down into the ground. This is the downward dog. If you've done a yoga class, you know how this feels. Here you can do this with a nice modified angle with your hands on the multi-bar. So let's try that out. Breathe through, right? And then you can come out to a plank position, right? Inhale, and then exhale as you go into the stretch, really feel it. If you want to walk your feet in a little bit more to get a little bit more of that hamstring stretch, you can, but just make sure you're keeping that spine nice and neutral, right? So relax, you can kind of come out of it into a tall plank position. You can walk yourself back up. You can feel good. Excellent job. So right there, we just did a very brief smooth transition from, yeah, you feel good? It's a great way to kind of break up the rest of your workday. Maybe it's late at night and you just want to do this in between a commercial. Maybe it's your lunchtime and you just want to turn around from your desk and you have your multi-bar set up with all your tracks. Or it's bright and early in the morning, you don't want to wake up your significant other, and you want a very quick, simple way to get your body loosened up so you can have a great day. So always feel free to come back to this video, get these stretches. There's so many of them. We hope you're enjoying your tracks. We know we do. And if you need any help, feel free to contact us and visit our website and do everything you need to stay healthy and happy with your StackTrax. Take care.